I have dealt with for a long time. I am in college now, playing a D1 sport, and let me tell you, when they say that it is a full-time job, they mean it. Soccer is something that I am passionate about, and I love doing it, but it takes up a lot of time. People use the phrase, I go to school to play sport, and we all know that that isn't true whatsoever. With soccer comes other commitments, like keeping up good grades and still trying to perfect my practice as well. One thing that they don't think about is all the time we put into schoolwork to make sure that we do have good grades, while we still lose a lot of sleep. If a normal person looks at a D1 athlete, they think, oh, they have the life and I wish I could do what they do. But actually, it's extremely exhausting. I think that more sleep helps a D1 athlete because it may improve sports performance, but it also helps muscle growth, repair, bone building, and fat burning. Now let's dive deeper into the sleep deprivation of D1 athletes. Let's look at some of the benefits of getting more sleep. You can think much more clearly and do sufficiently better in school. When we sleep, the body can recover, and it can also produce hormones. When there is not enough sleep provided to an athlete, your hormones can get very out of whack. When you're sleeping, your body is continually triggering your feelings of hunger and fullness. It has been shown that specific hunger hormones, such as leptin, insulin, and ghrelin, are messed up when an athlete's sleep is cut short. An athlete is supposed to get a minimum of 8 to 9 hours to fully recover your body. Staying on a more rigorous sleep schedule means you go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, even on the weekends too. By doing this can regulate your body's clock and even help you fall asleep faster at night. These are just some of the basic things more sleep can provide to make an athlete recover quicker. Now that we've looked at some of the benefits of sleep, let's look at the non-benefits of sleep. By not sleeping, it can cause many different emotions and feelings. It is much harder to fall asleep due to stress, which can also lead to depression. Students have extreme anxiety when it comes to school. They can have distress about test scores, practice, and social life because they don't think they have enough time in the day to accomplish everything that they need to do. All this combined can make it extremely overwhelming and intense to a young person. The struggle of homework, practice, liftings, and schoolwork is very difficult. The busy schedule I have concluded for a typical day in the life of a D1 soccer athlete like myself concludes of liftings at 7 in the morning to 8, then having classes from 8 in the morning to 1:45 in the afternoon. Then I go to practice from 2 to 5. We aren't leaving practice till around 5:30. From there, I usually go to treatment at the Wolstein Center right after practice for about an hour. By this time, it's 7 o'clock. I get home and it's 7:15. I still have to shower and start homework and make dinner. By that time, it is around 8, and I am just starting homework. And having to do homework for 6 classes takes a long time. After all of that, I usually don't go to bed till around 2 in the morning. By this point, you're probably thinking, why the heck would you want to do this to yourself? It sounds terrible. There are multitudes of reasons, such as side effects of not getting enough sleep. You can get sick very easily. The lack of sleep can have a huge effect on your immune system. It has been shown that people that don't get enough sleep, quality or quantity, are more likely to get sick after being exposed to even the simplest of viruses. By this lack of sleep, it can also affect how fast you can recover if you do get sick. Another side effect is you can become extremely forgetful. While you sleep, there are certain memories that can be reactivated. Also, there are certain connections in your brain cells that can become strengthened, and there is a lot of information being transferred from short-term memory loss to long-term memory loss. Being shown that when you don't get enough sleep, you can all become way more forgetful. Finally, we're bringing everything together. By getting more sleep, it may improve sports performance, but only if you can get the proper amount of sleep. Muscle growth can be improved during sleep. The body can release a growth hormone that is essential to muscle recovery and development. When an athlete doesn't sleep as much as they should, it can be a risk factor for depressed muscle stamina. Just like the cognitive memory of a person, sleep can help consolidate the memory too. Repair is vital to an athlete's performance. Additionally, it increases the chances of injury prevention and recovery. Bone building happens when there is lack of sleep, and irregularities will develop in both the bone and the bone marrow. They did a test on animals, and when the animals were drained of sleep, they could clearly see how the bone was very weak. Sleep deprivation interrupted the forming of a new bone. By lack of sleep, the bone became very fragile, making it easier to break them. Fat burning occurs when you sleep. By sleeping less, the body burns less calories at a lagged rate. Now, some might say that athletes need to manage their time better and be more productive throughout the day and not procrastinate on their schoolwork. But my take on it is that athletes still have classes throughout the day, and trying to manage classes, practice, and liftings become exhausting and tiring. Thus, trying to accomplish all you need to in a day's worth is extremely hard. Being a young adult is so hard, and trying to manage everything thrown at you is draining, and trying to handle all of this is very hard, especially when we are very young and still trying to figure everything out.